Come manifest your best life with 190 Vision.
My name is Laura, and you are? Ashley. Nice to see you again, Ashley. Nice to see you. We are going to be talking about your health journey and what it was like before 190 Vision and then afterward. Okay. So will you please start off by giving us a little background, maybe a little bit about yourself, and then what your health life was like before 190 Vision?
Sure. So before I had met you in 190 Vision, I struggled from very bad anxiety. My anxiety had gotten to the point where it was hard for me to even to go to the grocery store. I had to motivate myself and mentally prep and coerce and talk myself into it. Okay, today is the day I have to go out. I have to go to the grocery store. It became paralyzing in social environments. And that first and foremost was something that I had started struggling with panic disorder and having panic attacks probably around the beginning of my teenage years, especially when driving, getting my driver's license. I would have a panic attack in the middle of a street I lived on my whole life and not know how I got there. And so I'm 35 now. I'm about to be 36. So I have lived with anxiety for years and years and years before I met you. So that is the first thing that I would like to address with health. And since you came into my life and you've started, you and Ken and 190 Vision started to help me and heal with my problems, my health problems, I can't think of the last time I've needed to take Xanax. Actually, one of my most proudest moments is the day that I threw out all of those prescription pills into the toilet. Remember that picture I sent you? Mm-hmm. I've never even thought I've needed. I not only Xanax. They had me on types of blood pressure pills that helped with anxiety too. I tried natural supplements. I tried anything and anything. No one likes to live feeling that uncomfortable. But that day, and I don't remember the date, but I know it was a while ago. I threw everything in the toilet. I threw out the bottles, and I've never touched a single prescription medication ever again. So that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. So that's first and foremost. Yeah. So I think my divine team, I thank you guys for that. That's huge. From there, I think the second most important thing I want to address is my insomnia. I came from a broken home, and night times were rough, coming from a dysfunctional place, and also being an only child. I didn't really have anybody to take care of myself but me. So, going to sleep at night as a kid wasn't even a consideration. And they put me on sleeping medications, prescription sleeping pills. I believe I was in junior high at this point. They put me on temazepam, and now we know, and they might have known then, but I didn't, how addictive sleeping pills are and how bad they are. So I can't even fathom why a doctor would put a child on these to begin with, but they did. I had gotten to a point where, I was a teen then, throughout my 20s even. I remember when I was traveling for a living in my 20s, I was on 25 sleeping pills a night. I remember I was working in Spain, I was working in Austria, and my boss would, he would literally be like, "Do you take all those pills at once?" I go, "Yes, this is what I take to sleep." Some of them were prescriptions, some of them were natural supplements, whatever, concocted by my doctors, but I was taking about 25 a night. And they were barely working. I was sleeping for a few hours here and there. Obviously, jet lag had a lot to do with it, and the stress and all that. But I would be up. Now that should put as my dentist told me when I told him this, he goes, "That would put a horse down." And I go, "No, I'm at the gym at 4 or 5 in the morning running on all that. I don't feel anything." So that's how bad my tolerance had went up. Yeah. So let's fast forward to my time now with 190 Vision. I stopped taking sleeping pills last August. It was last August because of a lot of things going on in my life. Ambien is a hallucinogen. I did not know that. But when it comes to spirituality and stuff, when when you're going through a spiritual awakening and things are already kind of crazy going on around you, you don't want to be on a hallucinogen. It doesn't work. It's not for the best. So, but for that, since August until when I met you, and we started working together around around October, November. But lockdown was different, COVID was different, so we weren't as strong as we are now with everyday work. But for not being on sleeping pills since last August, I didn't sleep a single night. I didn't sleep a single night. I went about every 4 days. I'd finally rest. So day 3, I actually would pride myself on this, and I'm glad that I could be open and honest here, because I would pride myself going, okay, day 3, and I'm still going strong without sleep. Then day 4, I would crash, and I would tell my therapist this, and this was over, and I had to go to just a therapist on Zoom calls, and she was very, they wanted to put me in a hospital because it's very unhealthy, it's very scary. What is wrong? We tried different things. We tried trazodone, which is not a sleeping pill, but it helps induce drowsiness. So we tried, trazodone. We tried, I can't think of some other names, but it was, I'm sorry, we tried things, and that day that I threw those sleeping pills, or all those pills down that toilet, and that picture I sent you, was the day that I got rid of all of that too. And
question for you.
Yes.
When you say you would go 3 days, no sleeping, and then the 4th day you would crash, what was a crash like for you?
Oh, I think God finally put me to bed. I would crash. I couldn't walk. I couldn't sleep, or I couldn't eat. I couldn't mutter a sentence because I didn't make sense. I was so exhausted. So by the 4th day, I couldn't even think straight. I couldn't conversate. I couldn't physically move, and I would finally sleep. I think I'd get a good solid, probably 12, 15 hours, 18 hours. I would sleep for a day, and then the cycle would restart. So, when 90 Vision, when I came to you about this, first and foremost, meditating and you teaching me to meditate with the alpha noise helped tremendously. It helped tremendously just get me into a deeper state of relaxation. And you would remind me when I would message you and I say, I can't sleep. Well, Ash, have you tried just the alpha noise? And I remember the first time you ever asked me, I go, I never thought of that. So then right away, I know some things go right over my head. But then every night with the alpha noise that you've assisted me with has helped. But then when I still can't sleep, and in coming to you for your help and as operators coming in and assisting with my spiritual team to help me sleep. Anytime I contact you saying, hey, you know what, I've tried for an hour and a half, I've tried for 2 hours, I still haven't fallen asleep, it's important I get some sleep tonight, I probably naturally am asleep after your assistance about 10 minutes later, and I sleep the full night with no help. I don't even get up to go to the washroom in the middle of the night, which is just excellent. It's superb. And I'm in awe. I'm in awe because this is just stuff I truly, my whole life didn't think would ever happen to me. I never thought I would sleep a night without pills. I never thought I would sleep a night without, when I was in my medical program, I had sleep then, which I barely did, but I would be rubbing magnesium on my feet. I would be saging the house. I had essence, lavender. I think I was eating essential oils at this point to try to get me to, yes, that's gross. But but I can laugh about this now. I would have a whole parade of things I had to do to just try to relax. And now that you're in my life, it's fabulous.
To hear the rest of this story, go to 190 Vision TV on Roku TV or Amazon Fire.